Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Ask Rebecca radio show. As always, thank you for joining me. I hope everyone had a great week. Not sure about all of you, but I experienced several of last week's predictions, so it was a pretty interesting week for me, and all of them happened within a day or two. So I'm excited to see what this week's going to be all about and see how it affects myself along with everybody else. So tonight's predictions, which run through to next Thursday, March 1st, these are general predictions for everyone in areas of love, work, finances, health, and spirituality. So the general themes for the week, the word blame is coming to mind this week, and it feels like it will show up in everyone's life a little bit different, and for a few of you, it will show up in multiple ways until you realize what's happening. Some of you will be sitting around making excuses as to why you can't accomplish things in your life that you've always wanted to do or try. And your inner dialogue, it'll go something along the lines of, if I had enough money, or if everyone would just, or if I didn't have children, or if only I had support from my family, or if only I was in the perfect relationship, and you know, whatever your inner dialogue is, it's basically the kind of like the wishful thinking, or if only, and you'll find it really easy to create like elaborate reasons and excuses as to why you can't step into your greatness. It's going to be an easy energy for that this week. So, you know, I feel like you're going to go through that, and then you'll realize that you're doing this out of fear of not being good enough, or a fear of failure. And a few of you, it's actually a fear of success. So I also feel like you'll realize the only person you're truly fooling is yourself. You know, that inner dialogue, the only person that you're trying to convince anything of is yourself. And I think, again, this is all going to come to fruition this week. You'll realize these things. I do feel like it's going to be a huge breakthrough for some of you, and those of you who have already had this realization about yourselves, I feel like you're going to end up shedding another layer of this fear, and I feel like it will help you feel more confident. And then there's also a small group of you who will have some situations arise this week that could feel a bit intense or emotionally draining. I feel like your initial reaction is wanting to find the blame or fault, but the message that I'm receiving really loudly and very clearly is that there is absolutely no blame and no guilt in this situation. So it's serving a higher purpose, and you can't understand it at this point in time. So try to remember that if you find yourself in this experience. Remember, there is absolutely no blame and no guilt in this situation. So try to detach yourself emotionally a little bit. Those of you who are still experiencing lack on a consistent basis, this week you'll once again be focused on the lack in your lives. However, I feel like this time you'll finally make the connection that you focusing on and seeing everything in your life as not good enough or not having enough is what's keeping you stuck in a cycle of lack over and over again. You'll see your behaviors and attitudes are contributing to your experience of lack. And the message for you is to focus on gratitude instead this week. Make a commitment to yourself to choose to go through the entire week only focusing on being grateful or thankful for the things you do have in your life. It is the antidote to lack. Be grateful for the roof over your head, even if it's just a shack. Be thankful for the people in your life, even if they're difficult to deal with at times. Be grateful for the food in your belly, even if it's just a crumb. I promise you, if you can just try to focus on what you want and what you have and what's there in a space of gratitude, you will see the results. And when you see the results, then you'll choose to consistently practice gratitude in order to receive more. So, and some of you, it'll show up as a feeling of emptiness, right? So if you feel emptiness next week, express gratitude for being able to feel emptiness, and being thankful will turn the energies around and transform lack into abundance. And I know it sounds like really crazy and woo-woo and out there and weird for some of you, but trust me when I tell you it really, 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 really works. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen it in many of my clients' lives. Just practice gratitude and thankfulness. And those of you who have been practicing gratitude, I feel like you're going to move to a deeper level of understanding, and you're going to see some extra abundance in your life this week. I feel like this week we could experience some higher levels of drama in the world. As if things aren't already chaotic and dramatic out there as they are. But for some reason, I feel like it could affect some of you more emotionally this week. And I also feel like some of you will have your own dramas happening in your lives with relationships, work, children. I feel and see things happening at the grocery store, in a parking garage, and at a party. So I just feel like there's going to be drama that's coming up. Try not to let your emotions get the best of you. Stay strong, persevere, and don't let the drama get to you. This week will also be about letting go of judgments about ourselves and others. It's going to really be all about acceptance, and I know I've preached this a million times, but once you can accept all the things about yourself that you deem wrong or faulty, you'll integrate those energies internally, and you'll end up embodying wholeness, and you'll feel better. And now, this can be a process, and some of you will swing from one extreme emotion to the other extreme emotion. And you're going to do that in order to find the middle ground where your emotions will be more balanced. Just remember you're healing. I also feel like through this healing process, I just feel like for several of you, there's doors openings. I feel like an obstacle disappears. I feel like there's unexpected, brilliant opportunities that present themselves. I also feel like there's a possibility of meeting someone beneficial and special that is going to help you in some way, whether it ends up being a love relationship, a work relationship, or mentor, or whatever. I just feel like there's major breakthroughs coming. I feel like there's lots of courage and blessings for all. And I'm really excited for you guys for that. Now, some of you will be dealing with gossip this week. This person loves to create drama and turn a minor situation into a major one. And some of you will actually be the gossip. For those of you who are victims of gossip, I feel like steer clear. And, people will believe what they want to believe based on their own agendas, even when they know the truth of a situation. So don't fight or defend yourself. Instead, be grateful this person has revealed their true intentions towards you, and cut them out of your life because you don't need it. And for those of you who are the gossips and starting drama for your own agendas, you're only disrespecting yourselves, and you're going to lose some valuable people from your life who you weren't expecting to lose based on your behavior. And it won't just be the person that you're gossiping about that's going to leave your life. It's going to be people that you genuinely care about, because they're going to see your behavior and they're going to realize, oh, wait a minute, if this person is gossiping about them and they pretend to be this person's friend, then they're probably gossiping and talking about me as well. So really pay attention if that's you. It's not worth it to lose people. Just find the love for yourself and find the love for others, because you're just projecting. Lastly, I feel like many of you will be feeling like you're in control and in charge of situations in your life. And for some of you, it's going to be from a positive perspective and coming from a space of loving and caring. Then there's a few that it's coming from a denser energy of manipulation of people and situations. So pay attention to your motivations this week. Manipulations can play out in extremely subtle ways where you're not even realizing that you're actually trying to manipulate someone or a situation for your own agenda or outcome. So be mindful, practice mindfulness this week. Work, for those of you employed, I feel like some of you are going to be dealing with work conflicts. Some of you will be receiving invaluable assistance from your boss to help further your career. Some of you are going to be a bit egotistical at work, and I feel like some of you will be egotistical and slack off because you're like, whoa, I'm amazing, and then you're going to kind of just sit back and not do anything. So just, try not to get overly egotistical, practice a little bit of humbleness. And I feel like business owners, you guys, I feel like you're working very hard, and you're always working very hard, and you're going to keep working hard this week, and it's in order to keep your empires together, right? And I do also feel like some of you may get promoted this week into positions of greater authority. Again, if that's you, practice being humble and don't allow your ego to get in the way where all of a sudden you turn into a dictator. Work, for those of you that are looking for a job, some of you, I feel like you need to contact previous bosses to help you find new jobs. And those of you who have interviews this week, I feel the need to be humble. And when I say humble, I don't mean put yourself down in the interview, but don't brag about yourself and come across as arrogant and overly confident, right? So just kind of maintain the status quo. And I feel like that needs to happen if you're practicing being humble, because then you're going to land the job that you actually want, that position that you really want. It's going to be yours if you can just be cool. Everyone who's getting hired and is required to sign a contract, I feel like be cautious, read the fine print. For some of you, I feel like there may be a few things in the contract that really don't jive with you, and you may need to renegotiate before you sign something. Let's see. I do feel like a few of you will be successful in finding a job, especially if you make a logical and sustained effort. It's coming, it's happening. Those of you that are in committed relationships, I feel like mild conflict for some of you. And to me, it feels like some of these minor conflicts won't even be worth a fight or discussion. I just feel like, space from each other feels more appropriate. Some things you just don't need to hash out with each other. You need to hash it out internally. So kind of try to remember that. A few of you, I feel like, will simply realize the person you're married to or fell in love with can be somewhat dominant at times, but also gives you love, support, and security. So it's, again, about like these balancing energies. And even though sometimes you swing like, oh my God, this person's totally dominating, but it's not in an unhealthy, dominating kind of way. Like I said, they give love and support and security. Those of you looking for love, just kept get out and mingle. Just get out there already. And I do feel like along that lines of the dominating thing, I feel like some of you are going to be falling for someone who is dominant, who is logical, who is organized, and who may be the complete opposite of what you are. But I do feel like you're going to realize that you're attracted to strong, dynamic individuals who have made like success in the material world, and you are the opposite in success in the spiritual world, and the two of you can balance each other out and find that middle ground. Your strengths and weaknesses will help each other. And this goes for the couples too that realize, they're married to this person. Finances, I feel like some of you will overextend yourselves financially this week. To me, it feels like you're charging up your credit cards. Catch yourself before you do and remember what I'm saying, because if you do end up charging up your credit cards and overextending yourself financially, you will regret it. Again, a reminder of those of you that are always focused on lack. The energy this week is pretty strong. So if you're focusing on that, it's going to grow. You're going to keep growing your lack. Okay. So instead, pay attention to where you're spending your money. And if you're treating money with respect, and focus on being grateful and abundant. Health, some of you have been overdoing it lately and behaving intensely. Take a break, get some rest. I feel like some of you need to figure out the source of your ailments, track what you're putting in and on your body. I feel like some of you have allergies that you're not even aware of, and several of you could be doing, I feel like you could be doing an organ cleanse. Like I feel like some of you need to do some cleanses. You're a little clogged up. Spirituality, I feel like some of you have been ignoring your spiritual side, and this week you'll be exploring that side of yourself again. Take time for yourself this week. Let your logical side lead you to your spiritual side. I do feel like it's a high energy week of overthinking, so catch yourself and focus on your breath every time you overthink. And that covers this week's predictions. I hope everyone has a great and successful week. Let me get to tonight's caller, which is Teresa in Phoenix, Arizona. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How can I help you this evening?
Well, I guess I don't really have a specific question. I've had a lot of things going on in my life. Last year was a big year for me in a lot of different ways, and I feel like there's some change in the area of money, perhaps future. I don't know. I'm being really vague, but I don't know. What do you have to say to me?
Well, I kind of feel like what I feel is authority, tradition, and success and money matters. And I just feel like that is, I feel like that's going to kind of show up in multiple ways in your life. And like you said, I think it already started last year with like some successes financially, things are happening. But those three words kind of also, to me, feel like they could potentially be connected to a literal person in your life as well. Like it could be a male energy that comes in that is, and it could even represent you, where it's like I feel like a building foundations of like relationships and business, and there's a feeling of nurturing something, and also a feeling of like allowing yourself to be spoiled in some way and nurturing yourself. I just feel like there's a lot of support that's coming your way, and financially, I just feel like things are on a very, very high level of like being on an upswing. Now, one of the things really quickly, too, that I feel is important to mention to you is there's a feeling of you needing to face and vent negative feelings. Like I feel like you suppress a lot of things that you're thinking and feeling.
Always.
Yeah, so I just kind of feel like this year is really going to be you like facing those things and venting them, so that you can feed your spirit, because I feel like the last couple of years maybe have been too focused on like the financial side of your life, like the career finances area. And I just feel like you need to face some of these negative things that are trapped inside of you.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And get back to my spiritual side.
Yes, for sure. I definitely feel like you've got to get... And I don't know if you're in a relationship or not, but for some reason I feel like you're not happy about something and you need to speak up about it. So I don't know if it's a romantic relationship or some other relationship, but I just feel like there's something that you're not happy about and you need to speak up about it. And if you do, it's going to open up more energy for that love and growth and, again, like that nurturing type, deeper commitment.
And that has been an issue, definitely, in my relationship. And I can definitely feel that has started to happen.
Good. Well, I feel like if you are working on opening yourself up and communicating it about what you're feeling and what you're not happy about and what your needs are, I do feel like it could be a reawakening of the relationship, right? Like, again, a strengthening. But I feel like, maybe there's sometimes, like, secretly, deep down inside, you contemplate walking away.
That's always my first thought.
Yeah. Like,
when I'm unhappy with something.
Yes. Yeah, like that's the go-to. Like it's the cut and run because that's easier.
Yes, that's so true. And with friendships too. I recently lost a friendship, an old friendship, with somebody that I didn't realize who she was at the time, and it made me very sad.
This was somebody from when you were like younger, right? Like school, like maybe middle age. It doesn't feel like high school. It almost feels like kind of like, college age or.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Did her name start with a B?
No, a D.
Okay, for some reason I was getting Betty, but I don't know if that's connected to her at all, or it's just an energy of. And she just passed. You said she just passed away recently, right?
No, but I have lost a lot of people in my life recently that have passed away.
Anybody that you can think of that started with the letter B?
Oh my gosh, not Betty, Ginny, Mary. No.
Yeah, I for some reason the name Betty just keeps getting spun around in my head.
That is interesting. Can you tell me more?
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can get more, but it's weird because it feels like it's connected to your friend that you said, you didn't realize who she was until after you lost her, because I was getting that she felt the same way, that there was, like, I feel like you guys had lost touch even when she passed. I don't feel like you guys were that connected at that time.
Right.
But she's making me feel like that what you're feeling, the feeling is mutual, like not realizing the value of the relationship when you had it, and maybe a little bit of regret for not continuing it or trying to reconnect in a different way. You had said something about Ginny.
Oh,
Jimmy.
Female.
I'm sorry, what?
Like Virginia. Ginny.
Oh, Ginny. Okay, Okay, so Ginny, does she have a son?
No, she has a daughter.
There's
Only
a connection to someone that you crossed over that has a son. Do you know any of the people that passed away? There's something about a son, and it
might be my sister Mary Janie.
Okay. Do you know if he is dealing with? To me, the feeling is like I only have 90 seconds, but the feeling is like he's spiraling out of control, or like there's something going on. Whether it's the loss of his mother, or I just feel like there's cause for concern. Like there's concern about him and reaching out to him, and I don't know. I feel like he's having some mental stuff going on.
He just lost his father. He lost his mother quite a few years ago, but he just lost his father.
Okay, so I feel like that it's all coming up. Like he's triggered, and I feel like he's not expressing himself wholly. So if you are close to him in any way, I feel like she wants you to reach out to him, and he just needs some support in some way, is what I'm getting. I hope I was able to answer your questions or give you some insight. I have 30 seconds left, probably not even that. So thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
And thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will see you next Thursday. Bye.